How do I let my team know that I'm stressed or not coping with the current workload, but still remain a good leader that they respect?
Yeah. This is certainly not an easy place to be in. So, I really commend you on um, being willing to communicate about this with your team, and that does take a lot of courage, particularly when you are in a leadership position. Some ideas that have come to mind, I guess, we have mentioned this, in previous responses, is, discussing with your manager first and foremost, to try to explore, what ideas and steps can be taken to help manage, the workload. It's also really helpful to be specific about what is underneath that stress and the reduced coping, because when we're specific, it can lead to developing specific solutions to help meet our needs. When we're sharing with our manager, raising a concern, it's also really helpful about letting them know what steps you've taken so far, because I've heard more often than not that supervisors or managers will say, what about this? Or have you done this? Or have you tried this? So, beat them to the punch there, is that let them know what you've taken so far, and that obviously you've gotten to a point where you've taken these steps, and you're not able to, ameliorate the impact of what is happening for you. And as I've mentioned before, is always bring ideas to the table of what you think would be more helpful. But when it comes to, sharing with the team, this is where I guess a really powerful opportunity exists, because this is the opportunity of where we can normalize human responses to challenging situations within the team. And we call this psychological safety. So, letting the people around you know that it's okay to not feel okay at all times. So, creating a space where everyone can share with each other and can learn. When we're sharing vulnerability, this inspires other people to feel safe, to also let us know when that they might need assistance and support. And what's very, very good about psychological safety is that this has a direct link with high performing teams. So the more psychological safety we can cultivate and build, the more that your team is going to perform. So when you're kind of sharing through your communication with the team about how you're feeling and what is contributing to that, once again, be specific. Talk about what it is exactly that's contributing to the stress or the increased workload, and involve the team in coming up with the solutions. So when we communicate our needs, it should involve, things involving like behavior, so the tasks, and not necessarily a concept. Like, for example, being overworked or being overloaded is very abstract and conceptual, and how that is impacting our capacity. So we could use some statements like, for example, if we were to schedule a strategy meeting, we could use some statements that sound a little bit like, right, guys, over the last month, I've really noticed that I'm having to split my time and my focus on tasks such as this and this, whilst at the same time wanting to dedicate time to this and this to better support you all. And letting them know that you value their strengths and you trust them to step up. I really value the strengths within the team. And, this is an opportunity for the team to use strengths to help things to become a little bit more streamlined or efficient. And be human. I'm really needing some help here. It would be great if we could put our heads together and come up with some ideas or processes or how we can divvy things up so that I can free up some time and space to dedicate this towards the overall team goals.
Brilliant.
Mm.
Anything to add, Nick?
Yeah, no, great answer again, Kristen.
I think
I just think,
Kristen, Nick and I probably will have to pay you after this session.
yeah. I'm learning a
We've both
lot.
had the coaching now.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree that it sounds like a great opportunity for leadership, because I feel I try to be quite vulnerable with my team, and I don't think they think any less of me when that happens. I think I become more human, and that they also understand that there is that safety net, and that, Nick struggles at times, so it's totally fine when I struggle at times, and I can reach out to him and talk to him about it because he's talked to me about it. I think that's super important. And I think, I've got young kids. I'll come in the morning and I didn't sleep last night, guys. Please tell me if I say something totally insane that made no sense. Pull me up on it, please. I want that type of feedback as well. And I think creating that vulnerability and that openness around where you're at, and if you're struggling with something, I would hope that the team would respect you for that more.
Yeah. And that, I think that also talks to that psychological safety, right? Like if you've been able to cultivate that culture where everyone can talk like that, then, there isn't going to be any alienation. And it does, in almost every case, have to start at the top.
Yeah.